Laws are meant to keep society safe and organized. But around the world, some rules are so strange they sound almost unbelievable. Yet many of these bizarre laws are completely real, and breaking them can lead to fines or even jail time. From banned chewing gum to government-approved reincarnation, here are 10 of the weirdest laws from around the world and the surprising reasons behind them. Number 10. Chewing gum is restricted in Singapore. Chewing gum might seem harmless, but in Singapore, it's heavily restricted. The ban was introduced in 1992 when the government passed strict regulations under the Control of Manufacture Act. At the time, officials were dealing with a growing problem. People were sticking gum on sidewalks, public benches, and even train doors. The issue became serious enough that gum residue began interfering with subway systems and public infrastructure. To keep the city clean, Singapore banned the import and sale of chewing gum altogether. Today, there are a few exceptions. Gum intended for medical purposes, such as dental or nicotine gum, can be purchased at pharmacies with proper documentation. The penalties can be severe. Illegal distributors may face fines reaching 100,000 Singapore dollars and possible jail sentences of up to 2 years. Casual users are rarely targeted, but the law remains one of the most famous examples of Singapore's strict cleanliness policies. Number 9. High heels are illegal at some Greek ruins. Greece is home to some of the most important historical landmarks on Earth. Sites like the Acropolis in Athens attract millions of visitors each year. However, tourists wearing stilettos could unknowingly break the law. Greek authorities introduced rules banning high-heeled shoes at certain archaeological sites because the thin heels can damage fragile, ancient stone surfaces. Over time, thousands of visitors walking across ruins in pointed shoes began causing small cracks and erosion. To preserve these historic locations, the Greek Ministry of Culture implemented regulations preventing visitors from wearing stilettos at specific protected sites. Anyone ignoring the rule could face fines of up to 900, and security guards are authorized to remove visitors from the premises if necessary. So if you're planning a visit to Greece's ancient landmarks, it's best to leave the high heels at the hotel. Number 8. Japan measures citizens' waistlines. Japan has one of the world's most unusual public health policies. Introduced in 2008, the so-called Metabo Law aims to reduce obesity and related health costs. Under the program, companies and local governments conduct annual health checkups for people aged 40 to 74, including waist measurements. The recommended limits are 85 cm for men and 90 cm for women. Individuals are not fined for exceeding these limits, but they may be required to attend health counseling or lifestyle programs. Companies that fail to follow the regulations can face financial penalties. Supporters say the policy encourages preventative healthcare and helps control long-term medical costs. Number 7. Tibetan monks must receive permission to reincarnate. One of the strangest modern regulations involves reincarnation. In 2007, the Chinese government introduced rules requiring official approval before recognizing a reincarnated Tibetan Buddhist leader. The regulation, known as State Administration for Religious Affairs Order No. 5, allows authorities to oversee the selection of reincarnated lamas. In Tibetan Buddhism, spiritual leaders are traditionally believed to be reborn, and communities search for children believed to be their reincarnation. Under Chinese law, however, this recognition must first be approved by the government. Violating the regulation can lead to fines, administrative punishment, or imprisonment under broader religious laws. Number 6. Running out of fuel on Germany's Autobahn is illegal. Germany's Autobahn is famous for sections with no official speed limit. Drivers can travel extremely fast on these highways, sometimes exceeding 200 kilometers per hour. But there's one mistake that could get you fined: running out of fuel. Under German road traffic regulations, stopping on the Autobahn without a valid reason is illegal. That includes stopping because your vehicle ran out of gas. Authorities consider this a preventable situation that can create dangerous hazards on high-speed roads. Drivers who violate this rule may receive fines ranging from 30 to 70, along with points on their driving record. They may also be responsible for towing costs and any disruptions caused to traffic. In short, if you're driving on the Autobahn, make sure your fuel tank isn't close to empty. Number 5. It's technically illegal to die in Longyearbyen, Norway. In the Arctic town of Longyearbyen, located on the Svalbard archipelago, there's a strange rule that people often describe as illegal to die. Of course, death itself isn't a crime, but the reason behind the rule is fascinating. The town sits on permafrost, permanently frozen ground, where buried bodies do not decompose properly. Scientists discovered that the cold conditions can preserve pathogens for decades. In fact, researchers once found preserved influenza virus samples in bodies buried there during the early 20th century. Because of this risk, burials were banned in Longyearbyen in the 1950s. Today, residents who become seriously ill are typically transported to mainland Norway so they can receive care and, if necessary, be buried elsewhere. If someone dies in the town, their remains must be transported out for burial. It's not a law with fines, but it's still one of the strangest rules in the world. Number 4. Dog owners in Turin must walk their pets 3 times a day. Pet owners in the Italian city of Turin have an unusual legal responsibility. A municipal animal welfare ordinance introduced in 2005 requires dog owners to walk their dogs at least 3 times per day. The goal of the law is to prevent neglect and ensure pets receive enough exercise and stimulation. Animal welfare advocates pushed for the rule after concerns grew about dogs being left indoors for long periods without activity. If authorities determine that a dog owner is neglecting this requirement, the owner could face fines reaching $500. While enforcement typically depends on complaints from neighbors or inspections by animal control officers, the rule reflects the city's strong stance on animal welfare. Number 3. Suspiciously handling salmon is a crime in the UK. In England and Wales, there's a law that sounds almost comedic. Suspiciously handling salmon is illegal. The rule comes from the Salmon Act of 1986, which was created to fight illegal fishing and poaching. The law makes it a crime to handle, sell, or transport salmon under circumstances that suggest the fish may have been obtained illegally. Although the wording sounds strange, it was written broadly to give authorities the ability to prosecute individuals involved in illegal fishing networks. Violations can carry serious penalties, including fines, confiscation of goods, or even imprisonment for up to 3 months. So while the phrase may sound funny, the law itself serves a practical purpose. Number 2. Arizona once banned donkeys from sleeping in bathtubs. One of the strangest American laws comes from the state of Arizona. The rule banning donkeys from sleeping in bathtubs dates back to the 1920s. According to historical accounts, a rancher once allowed his donkey to sleep in a bathtub outside his home. During a heavy rainstorm, flooding caused the bathtub and the donkey to float away. Rescuers had to launch a large operation to save the animal, which led lawmakers to create a regulation preventing similar incidents. While the law technically still exists, it is rarely enforced today. If someone were actually prosecuted under the rule, it would likely be treated as a minor misdemeanor with small fines. Still, it remains one of the most memorable examples of quirky American legislation. Number 1. Feeding pigeons is forbidden in Venice. Venice is one of the most famous tourist destinations in the world, but feeding pigeons in the historic city can get you fined. In 2008, local authorities introduced a municipal regulation banning the feeding of pigeons in public areas. For years, large flocks of birds gathered in popular tourist spots like St. Mark's Square, where visitors frequently fed them. Unfortunately, the growing pigeon population began causing serious problems. Bird droppings were damaging historic buildings, statues, and monuments. To protect the city's architecture and control bird populations, Venice banned both feeding pigeons and selling bird food in public spaces. Anyone breaking the rule can receive fines ranging from 50 to 500, and police actively enforce the regulation in major tourist areas. And those were 10 of the strangest laws from around the world, proof that some rules can be far more unusual than we expect. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating videos.